What's up, guys? Ranger Central here, back with another video. And today, first of all, you can see I'm in a different location. I am currently on vacation right now, so I do apologize for the poor audio, the poor lighting, and everything like that. So bear with me here. It sucks that it's like that, but hey, I'm still making a video because it just seems to be that anytime I bring my video equipment, I don't need to make a video, and anytime that I don't bring my video equipment, I do need to make a video. So that's just what ends up happening, it feels like. So here we are. Granted, I don't have to really make a video on this, but I kind of wanted to talk about it because I am very, very happy with what we heard from Peter Laviolette in his first media availability with the New York Rangers. Well, outside of his introductory press conference, that is. But I am very happy with what we heard from him in his first media availability as training camp is officially underway. It is finally here. Hockey season is coming, and I'm very, very happy about it. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you're obviously happy about it too, because you are not watching hockey videos willingly unless you are a chaotic fan like myself. So we're going to jump into it and talk about the things they talked about and some of the things I liked. And then if there's anything that I dislike, not that there's really much that I disliked. I mean, there was only like one thing that made me scratch my head a bit where it's like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this, but we're going to talk about it all. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. But let's talk about what he was mentioning in his introductory press conference. And this is going to be a super long video. As I say, that's probably going to be 20 minutes, but we're just going to quickly recap it from what I remember also, because I did end up watching it a little bit earlier. Not too much earlier, but a little earlier. I'm done freaking okay, let's stop rambling. Peter Laviolette, though, mentioned a couple great things. So one thing that he mentioned that I absolutely loved, and the thing that I think is the biggest takeaway of them all, is the fact that he mentioned that the Rangers are going to experiment playing with different defensive pairings, which is something that I'm very happy about, because I think all of us Ranger fans have been foaming at the mouth and dying for a Miller-Fox pairing or a Lindgren-Trouba pairing even. Not that we've been foaming at the mouth for the second pairing, but Miller-Fox is really what we've been wanting. And I think that it would be nice to actually see a little bit of a shakeup with the decor, because Trouba and Miller should not be playing together. They're just way too inconsistent. And then Adam Fox and Ryan Lindgren, don't get me wrong, I like them as a pair, but at the same time, I just don't feel comfortable with Ryan Lindgren playing top pair minutes every night, because one, I feel like it's better to have him play a few less minutes to keep him healthier, because we know how much he puts his body on the line for the team. And listen, I understand that and I appreciate it, obviously, as a fan, but at the same time, if you could give him less minutes and the team could step up and you don't have to rely on him as much, it's going to keep him healthier. So that's one thing that I would really like, is if they could move Miller to the first pair, or even if they can't, just shake things up, like move Schneider up to the second pair, put, I don't know, even go crazy if you want, like go with Schneider and Lindgren maybe, and then Miller, Fox, and then Trouba, Gustafsson, or something like that as your pairings. I don't know, I'm just spitballing something crazy and random, but like try and experimenting things at the very least, which is something that Laviolette ended up mentioning. I almost said the other name, which would have been gross, the old coach. I'm not even going to mention his name because he disgusts me. But yeah, Laviolette mentioned his willingness to experiment with different defensive pairings, and I really appreciate that, because of the fact that, like I mentioned, we just have not seen that. Instead, it's just been constant line juggling with the forward group, and then just trotting out there the same top four, and then the bottom pair, it's Braden Schneider with insert left shot defenseman, whether it's Patrick Nemeth, whether it was Ben Harper, whether it was Nico Mikkola, Justin Braun coming in, and then at times Zach Jones played last year. So it's just been all over the place. And yeah, I really would like to see consistent defensive pairings, yes, but at the same time, I would not be opposed to them trying different things if things aren't working, especially because it made no sense under, again, I'm not going to say his name, but under GG, I'll just say that, because, again, I don't want to freaking give that guy even any sort of name drop, but regardless, yeah, it was just annoying how the forward group would always see changes and the forward group would always see differences, and then with the defensive pairings, it was just the same thing trotted out there every single night, even when it wasn't working, and it just made no sense whatsoever. But that's one thing that is a main takeaway. The second biggest takeaway I had is just I cannot stress enough how much I appreciate two things that kind of combine into one. One, the fact that he is going to actually bring a system in place. Can you believe that? The New York Rangers are going to have an identity and a system, and he mentioned that he wants to get that started from day one of training camp here, and that I really appreciate it because he's saying from the preseason, we need to get down these habits. It's not going to look perfect. The system might have issues, but we're going to be able to, and then this was my second point, he was talking about how he doesn't view the room as there's star players, there's this group of players, there's that group of players. There's no favoritism here. This isn't what we have been seeing before. He is mentioning the fact that the team, everybody's looked at equally, and he's going to play the best players. This is another thing he mentioned, that he wants to play the best players on a night-to-night basis. And he was saying if he could roll out all four lines, great. As fans, we'd love that because that means everyone's playing great. But if guys aren't earning it, they're not going to get those minutes. So we're not going to see Barclay Goodrow out there with the net empty in the final minutes of hockey games. That's just not going to happen. Maybe it will happen for, I don't know, if there's like 3 minutes left and guys are tired, sure. But in the last minute, you're not seeing Barclay Goodrow out there in the final few minutes of the hockey game. No, that's not going to happen. He wants to get the best guys out there at a time. And another thing, again, it just all connects together that I loved is he was talking about how if the Rangers are even up 6-0, he's going to make sure that he gets those fourth line guys out there to shut the other team down and make sure that game gets closed out. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We're going to see a coach who it's dumb to say because I hate the slogan so much, but is it going to just put his hands up and just give up? I'm not going to say the phrase, but it's basically like that. But he's not going to throw his arms up and then be like, yep, game's over. No, because that's why the Rangers have blown so many games over the past few years is because of the fact that previous coaching has just not been willing to put the guys out there that he needs to close out games, and they just don't give the effort. And he, again, talking about systems, talking about guys being treated equally in the locker room. It's going to be a freaking breath of fresh air. Granted, I'm going to say this also because everyone's going to be like, you're hyping him up too much and you're buying too much into this hype and everything. The only thing I will say, because I agree, that I don't want to get overly optimistic and go to the moon about what he's saying, because I want to emphasize this. Actions speak louder than words. So, we need to actually see all this formulate and in action, and I need some data to back up his claims in order to be happy about this team. So, I'm not going to be out there with the pom-poms right now, acting and taking a victory lap, holding the Stanley Cup above my head, acting like they just won the cup from what he's saying. But if they actually stick to their guns here and stick to their word here, they will have a better chance. And then he's talking about, too, how he wants the Rangers to be hungry come playoff time especially. He's talking about how the final teams that get there, they have a certain work ethic and they have an attitude to their team. And it's just, it's beautiful to hear because how much have the fans been saying that that's what is needed? How much have we been saying that there needs to be the work ethic, there needs to be the hunger, and there needs to be buy-in? It can't just be go out there and have fun and do your best. No, you got to actually go out there and work for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. And with systems in place and I'm hoping the ability to adjust and have flexibility, which is one thing that did concern me. It's not like he really mentioned specifically that they'll adjust. He kind of hinted at it where he was like, yeah, we want to have a set system, but there might be mistakes at times, and we're going to have guys that are able to adapt to it. I'm paraphrasing there, but something along those lines. And as long as that means that there's going to be adjustments if the system is not working or things are not going well, then that has my support. Then I'm happy because at the end of the day, then I can't really complain because they're at least going to make an effort to adjust, and they're going to not just, it's not just go out there. And I appreciate there being a system. And then another thing I love that you're talking about, which goes into the systems, is the fact that he mentioned he wants balanced play on both ends of the puck. He doesn't want the team to be a heavy forechecking team, but he also doesn't want them to be a hard team to play against, meaning a defensive-minded team or a defensive-first team. He wants them to be good on both ends of the puck, which not easy to do, but if they could get it down, that would make this team unstoppable, because a team that I really, really want the Rangers to play like, because we've been wanting this coach for a while, and he was with the Rangers at one point, is Mike Sullivan. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are, in my opinion, one of the perfect examples of a team that plays good on both ends of the puck. Granted, they haven't got far recently, but at the same time, they ended up winning back-to-back cups, and it wasn't that long ago. They just have an aging core at this point. I think it goes into that, and then Tristan Jarry. But I'm not going to ramble about the Penguins. But, I just really, really like that he's mentioning that he wants them to be good on both ends of the puck and not just be, a heavy forechecking team, a defensive first team. He wants to see good play on both ends of the puck, which is really, really nice to hear, because we just haven't heard either or from the past two coaches. We just, like David Quinn used fast, physical, relentless, and then I don't know, like Gallant didn't even, I said his name, Gallant didn't even like say anything like that. Like, he never even mentioned anything about a system or anything like that. And that should have been a red flag from day one, but we didn't pick up on that for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, everything was pretty much good that we heard from Peter Laviolette. The only thing that did concern me is how he was mentioning about the power play, how he wants to put the best players out there. And, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically saying that he's not probably going to balance the two power plays, where it's probably going to be the best players on one unit and the B unit, which we've seen for the past few years. And we know as Ranger fans that it just hasn't gone well. It's pretty much just been one power play unit for the past however many years, and then the other unit, useless. That's the only thing that I didn't really love to hear, because I feel like having a balanced power play or two balanced units would be more beneficial. But at the same time, I'm not going to complain, because I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'd imagine Washington was one of the better power play teams. Granted, Alexander Ovechkin helps with that, but I digress. And then, another thing he mentioned is that he talked to Lafreniere, which I'm loving that he's really trying to get communication down pat with all these players. And he talked to Lafreniere about playing the right side, which makes me happy, because Lafreniere, if he wants top 6 minutes, one, he has to earn it. Two, he needs to be playing on the right side, because there's just truly no room on the left side. Granted, Kreider could probably play the third line, but if they do want a better top 6, if you will, Lafreniere being on the right side would help that, because then you could go with Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, and then Panarin, Hedl, and Lafreniere if they wanted to go that route. So yeah, I'm a fan of that, and it just seems like Drury and Laviolette are more on the same page than Gallant and Drury ever were, because we heard Drury talking about how Lafreniere was going to get reps on the right side, so it seems like something that they emphasized and communicated about, which makes me happy that those two are on the same page, because I really, really question. You guys know that I've been questioning for the past however many weeks or even months at this point if Gallant quit on the team because Chris Drury got into a shouting match with him. And I just wonder how big of a disconnect there was between the two that we just don't know about, and we probably never will know about, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I don't really know if there's much else that he talked about that is worth noting. I'm trying to think, like the D pairings. I guess one final thing that I liked is that he was talking about how guys from camp are really going to get good looks, and they're going to end up getting the opportunity to prove themselves. And if a player shows it, they could easily earn a spot. And, nobody's treated above others, which just makes me really happy. But again, I'm going to emphasize it again. actions speak louder than words, because this could all be talk and we don't end up getting any of this. But let's hope that we finally see what we've been asking for in a coach. Systems, discipline, equal opportunities, all of that. Like, let's just hope that this is the answer, because if it's not, we got problems. We got problems. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, apologize for the poor audio, lighting, and everything. This is what happens when you're on vacation. So it is what it is. But when I get back, preseason hockey's back. I probably won't make a video until then, unless some big news breaks, like the Rangers trade for Connor McDavid, which is obviously going to happen, right? But in all seriousness, yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. Well, let me know in the comments how you felt about Laviolette's media availability. And yeah, inevitably this video ended up being long anyway. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.